Hey guys, and welcome on back. Kind of a small update here today, but kind of ends up becoming quite a big things when you do just something this small for game design. So, what we have here is I have just started on creating the game project folder for Project Balance. And what we have done is I've imported the rocks, the grass, and of course the trees. Now the trees, I do have some issues. Their UV maps got destroyed, so I just need to redo all the maps. They broke during the exporting, which happens quite often, really, because the ground texture here, well, not the ground texture, the ground plane broke actually as well. It had too few polygons for Unreal in Blender to export all the data out clearly and concisely, and just issues like that. So I had to add in some extra polygons to this guy, but that shouldn't cause much of an issue once we add in LODs and things like that. So that'll get fixed right away. The scale for everything is looking great compared to the character. The trees still look great and huge and strong. Just, I can already tell with just a basic white texture on there and some baked lighting, it didn't quite work out how I wanted them to. But we can fix that, as well as we can fix the issue that we had with leaves. That's a minor thing. I was able to fix it so that I can just draw out these planes. And with these, I was able to create the texture or the appearance of trees and leaves and with all the planes and stuff like that. And as you can see, it still runs rather smoothly frame wise. So this is all doing perfectly because now I can just plot these right where they need to be, and boom, that's a tree. And so we just have three variations of like these bush like structures that I can just plop on top, and we got some pretty good looking tree silhouettes. And that's kind of what I was aiming for, is just to look at these silhouettes of these trees and to look at the silhouettes of all of these guys inside the game engine. And the grass, he's very small right now. We're gonna up the ante there just so that I can see it in game. There we go, because I want to make sure that what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to do the method of gray boxing my level. Gray boxing is kind of exactly what it sounds like, but the method of it is taking the grays or whites or simple silhouettes of your objects or of your level and just silhouetting out the designing what will soon become more robust and more, and will have more shape, more dynamics, and more everything to it. But as of right now, I'm just kind of going through, seeing the silhouettes of these objects, the scale, make sure everything transferred over correctly, and then everything exported correctly. And by doing that, I was able to see that no, the export on the trees had some issues. You can clearly see right here this major gap where we just have that harsh line and harsh shadowing going on that I can just tell my UV export did not work out properly. So I can go back and I can fix that with ease. That's just going through and making some more adjustments to how the UVs are built and how the UVs are made in Blender, and then how those Blender UVs are exported into Unreal. Makes no problem to me, just minor time consumption, which is easily manageable. And right here, I just want to build lighting real fast. So in game engines, you have to always build lights. You have to pretty much tell the viewport, or what the player sees, to go through and shine where our source light is, which is the sun up here, and just shine all the light through, and just it'll take these it'll just take like hundreds and millions of red lines and shoot them on down, and wherever it hits something, the game engine now knows, oh, there's something there underneath, might be a shadow, and it pretty much builds lights like that. Very cool, very interesting method, because now you can see we have the shadow silhouettes for the canopy of the leaves, which is exactly what I wanted to see. And there is some weird things going on here. I want to say that's just the game engine trying to map out lights onto the bottom of these leaves. Hopefully that's fixed as soon as I add in a texture, because right now there are just these white silhouetted textures. And 90% of the time when you add textures into the game, light tends to be fixed, because then the game engine, the viewport, all that stuff has something to point towards for creating the reflections and bounce lights and things like that. So I'm sure that'll get fixed with ease. But as of right now, we have some good silhouetting going on. I like the shadows that I'm getting from my leaves. The shapes of this is the shape is just fine. I can blur it out. I can add some more artistic vision to it later on with some extra things. And the rocks have a wonderful shadow on them. The grass is looking good. Blades of grass don't really cause too much shadowing to happen. So honestly, all this looks great. And I can even come in here and just play it real fast. And as I can see, this is all still working beautifully. As I enter into these areas, the character gets shaded perfectly. This is just going to work out great. I like it. I'm excited by all this. And I can't wait to do more. Now, there is some issues as of right now. I need to fix collisions, little things like that, because right now my character's hovering above the ground, which isn't exactly what we need, and I can fix that rather quickly. All you really have to do is just create a normal map or a collision box that mimics the ground, so they're seen as complex collisions instead of the basic collision that it has, which is probably just this giant cube around it. Or same with these guys, they probably just have a giant cube shape around them. That's probably why I wasn't able to get too close. So that's real easy to fix. That's just creating some complex collisions, which I'll do a video of. Probably not next video. Next video will probably be discussing the issues with the UV maps on these guys, as well as showing off some of the textures that we have created in the game engine itself, instead of just having them in Substance. So that'll probably be a little bit of talk about about UVs, and a little bit of talk about textures and seeing them again. And yeah, things are going along really well, hitting minor speed bumps, but as a game designer, as an environment artist, we hit bumps and we have to problem solve. That's just the name of the game, is bugs. You hit a bug, you problem solve it, you find out where it is, and you fix it. And sometimes you miss them, sometimes you catch them, but 90% of the time I caught the majority of the bugs in this and know how to fix them for the later episodes. So stick around, guys. Lots of fun things happening, lots of cool things coming next. So with that said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.